So I studied psychology at Cardiff University.
I studied economics at uni.
I studied business management at the University of Nottingham.
Yeah, so I did a natural sciences degree, so obviously no understanding of insurance whatsoever. If you're a graduate, then you're going to have gained so many skills in your degree that you don't even realise are applicable to insurance. So like in my interview for my grad scheme, obviously I didn't talk about anything insurance related. I was talking about the soft skills and the transferable skills that I'd gained already in my degree and other aspects of my life. So don't let it put you off if you haven't had an insurance background.
No one really knows what it is, or all they do think it is underwriting. That's what I thought insurance was, just underwriters. But I think there's a lot more layers to it than meets the eye.
You might not want to go into insurance as such, but it doesn't mean that you can't work for an insurance company, and especially such a big one as us. We've got so many opportunities here.
Literally just on the scheme that I'm on at the moment, you do 4 different sections and they're all completely different.
What attracted me to that graduate scheme was, to be honest, I still wasn't too sure what I wanted to do with my career. It just became apparent that the diversity of the Allianz management trainee scheme, I could get involved in quite a few different placements that would help me understand what kind of I enjoyed doing, what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you can gain experience in lots of different areas, whether it be claims or finance or underwriting, and people will often move between those divisions, and that gives them a broader and better understanding of the business as a whole.
I went through the stages of wanting to be a teacher, wanting to be a lawyer, but once I did my work experience, I have my heart set on the fact that I wanted to be in insurance. Everyone always looks at me when I say that and they're like, you wanted to be in insurance? But no, once I'd worked in it, I knew that was for me.
I didn't know if I wanted to go into insurance, like for insurance at the start, but there's so much more here that you don't have to do it. And I don't think people probably know that either, so it's a good thing to know.
Sometimes it almost puts you in a better place, I think, coming into a company like this with fresh eyes without having a huge amount of insurance understanding to really better challenge us. There's such a fast pace of change going on at the moment, and there's such a huge focus in Allianz in particular on digitalisation and data, how best to use that data, and you don't have to have a necessarily understanding of insurance to come at that with a fresh set of eyes and say, well, look, this is what it's telling me, why don't we try something different? It's a really exciting company to be a part of.
I think people think of insurance as a boring, old-fashioned and negative place, but I think it's the opposite. It's a place where we're at the forefront of technology, we're looking to take the most of new opportunities and to stay ahead of the curve. So I would say it's the opposite.
I think they're very sort of supportive and they do take on new ideas. They're always looking for someone who's sort of fresh and new into teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's a company that really allows you to be proactive, to go out and seize those opportunities, and they are very good at identifying talent and promoting based on your talent and not just your tenure.
Before I joined Allianz, I knew very little about them.
No. I knew it as a big brand, but I had no idea it was an insurance company.
I knew that they had a really large stadium in Munich.
Very little. I'd seen their sponsorships on big sporting events, but I knew very little about how it worked.
Allianz is obviously a very big company, so I knew who Allianz were, but I definitely didn't expect Allianz to be the way that it was. So coming in to work for such a big company, I wasn't expecting to come in and enjoy it and feel as at home as I do.
Everyone has just been so helpful and so friendly, and they all sort of know that they were in that position at some point, because obviously nobody comes into insurance with a full understanding of insurance.
I've met so many people, so many senior people that have been graduates, and I think especially since I'm on a management scheme, a lot of the managers have been on the scheme and are still here.
So I believe on the induction week we met the CEO on the 3rd day, so really early on in the scheme. It made me feel very valued. They clearly take the graduate scheme seriously if the CEO wants to get involved, and I guess, it just makes you feel really valued as an employee.
So we actually have graduate families and we all get to meet up, go for coffee and just really pick their brains about their journeys and what they did, and having senior people around the business that I feel confident enough to approach is so amazing.
I have a graduate buddy who was on the underwriting grad scheme, and they're just there for support if you have any questions. And then there's about 30 other grads. We're all in contact with each other, so then everyone talks about how they're getting on, and if ever I've got a question about claims, I might ask one of the claim graduates, and then they can help steer me in the right direction of someone to ask.
There's quite a few graduates in our Guildford head office. There's lots of social events that we get involved with, but also when I worked in Bristol, there was a good group of graduates down there as well.
My office is quite young as well, so we do have socials, there's a lot of birthdays we go out. It's not just your 9 to 5, you do make friends because you're working so closely with people all the time that you really do build those relationships, and it makes work a lot easier.
I think that's one of the things I love most about Allianz is the various opportunities you can get away from your desk and go and do some other things that really make a difference. Me personally, I've been volunteering at the Para Championships in London. In the last couple of months, I've also joined the sports and social team, so I've been able to help organise events in our office. And I've also actually taken part in the mental health first aider. So I went to a couple of days of training, and now as a normal first aider would work in the office, I'm now also a mental health first aider.
As graduates, when we start off, we get given a corporate social responsibility challenge where we're currently raising money for Mind, which is a corporate charity. I think it's inherently a very important value that Allianz carry, but I've seen it from my internship all the way to my grad scheme, so it's definitely important here.
You know, we're really ethical, we invest a lot in green companies. Yeah, I think it's really important to be part of a company that really emphasises CSR and actually actively promotes it and encourages employees to engage in activity which will allow them to feel part of a community.
I think the future at Allianz is endless. There's so many opportunities you could take.
It is the perfect combination between being really secure within the business but not necessarily having to stick to the same role.
I'm on the underwriting grad scheme, but I don't feel like I'm limited to only doing underwriting. If I wanted to go out and do something else, there's so many opportunities. I just feel like Allianz will really challenge me to become good at whatever I push myself to do.
The future looks like lots of exams for me, but hopefully qualification, and then hopefully follow in the footsteps of grads who have gone before me and gone on to become managers and senior managers.
As a whole, I think it is just making sure your company values you and your time and gives you the opportunities of where you want to go. And there is so many different opportunities at so many different locations, so sort of the world is your oyster in that respect.
Creative collaboration.
Trying new things.
To be challenged.
Opportunities.
To work for a company that will invest in their development.
Allianz, home for those who love to make a difference.